Alright, so this is a different day, but I'm coming back. I get to figure out how I want to hang these. I ended up buying 12, so 2 boxes of 6. It was just easier that way. Again, I might be adding some more on this side, so all we're worrying about is the back half here. And so let's hang 12 of them. So how do we do this? Well, we have different columns that we made here. The spaces in between the ceiling joists going through.
So I found it easier to explain using a 3D modeling program called SketchUp. We'll get to more of this later when we start taking our measurements and putting them to use, but I'll start here with what I have. This is the garage that I've kind of drawn out in 3D, and these are the ceiling joists that I put up. So half of those were already there, the other half I put up. When I was talking about columns, I'm not including this last one here closer to the very back of the garage. That's because there is nothing to mount it to along the back where the block stops. It just kind of goes back up into the roof. So our 6 columns are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so you can hang 12 however you want. Obviously you want to divide it down the middle because you have 2 bays there, so 6 here, 6 here. But how do you do that? Do you do 2 rows of 3? Okay, so if we do 2 rows this direction, or 2 columns rather, if you're looking at it vertically, then you have to be able to do 3 this way. And we have an even number of openings, an even number of slots. So if I did 1 here and 1 in the far end, then I'd have to pick one of these 2 middle ones to do that, meaning it would be offset. So I'd have only 1 row here and 2 rows here, and that wouldn't really evenly spread out the light. So I can't do straight rows. Plus, doing it this way, I would have 1 light here and 1 light here, and then you would have really close from left to right, but going up and down as you're looking at the screen. I would not have lights that close. They would be very spread apart. So I did a little bit of messing around, and I figured that the most accurate way to put the light where I needed to be was a formation kind of like this. So what I did is I staggered the lights, and those little yellow things are kind of where the lights will be. I noticed that the center of the room is going to be the darkest, so I wanted to brighten that up, and that would be also the most usable bit of space because I'll have the table saw and anything that's kind of variable over in those particular areas. At least that's what I'm thinking now. I'll have a garage design video with all the specifics on that. But I also wanted to keep lights around the perimeter because we'll have different things around the perimeter, ignoring the corners a little bit because it seems to be a little bit more useless as far as storage is concerned. So this is kind of going to be the layout as far as the lights are concerned, and we'll worry about the back half later. But I also wanted to make a note that these can lights don't have to be in the center of the opening. They do slide back and forth on the rails. So where you see I skipped a row here, but there's no skipping between these 2 rows, I'll have this light as close as I can to this ceiling joist, and this light as close as I can to this ceiling joist. You can just slide them along the rail. That way the light's really evenly spread.
So I wanted to show you guys how easy this is. I've been pretty much, well, here I'll show you. The housing, it's got nails already in there on each little leg, and so I just made my marks, nailed one side in, held the other side opposite corner up, nailed it in, and the other 2 just fit nice and tight. But that's not the easy part. Well, it's easy, but what I wanted to show you is these LEDs, because LEDs are the only way to go as far as lights are concerned. But these are retrofit lights. You can see the little thread down there. Basically has the light bulb screw in, and it's all together. The trim kit, the baffle, everything, and the light. It's all one piece. So literally, all you have to do is unplug this wire here, and you won't be able to see it, but the other end just screws into a light bulb socket. And then you see these little clips, the little hooks there and there. You take these little spring dudes and you pinch them, you put them between the 2 hooks, and it just sucks right up. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I'm pushing it up. I got it chilling in there with both of the springs going up into those little hooks. At this point, you literally just push and it sucks itself up to the top. And you have a can light. Easy. Hey guys, just wanted to give you another update. I've been running wires from each of the can lights to the other can lights. Unfortunately, I lost my staples to put the wires up on the joists. They're all nice and neat. So I've just been kind of hanging it and giving it some extra wire so I had some slack. But as I was doing it, I was throwing that wire through the hole there that we knocked out in each of the can lights, and I noticed that it was shaving off some of the insulation of the wire, and I was thinking that was really sharp and the wire doesn't just need to be going in there that way. So I went back to the hardware store and discovered these little guys. Basically, this larger threaded piece. See if we can get it to focus. There we go. This larger threaded piece sticks through the hole. That little washer that's twisted around it clamps it from the inside. And then you have this on the outside with the two little screws that clamp down and hold the wire in place. That way if you move the light, where the light just gets hit to the side or something, the wires on the inside that are tied together with a wire nut or one of the push connectors, they don't actually damage the connection because it's pinched here. So I'm going to go around and add these little guys to each of the little can lights, and we'll update you once that's done. So general update here, it's taken me several hours just to run this wire nicely. So you can see I got the staples there, and every single wire is run across the rafters. You're not supposed to take the wire and wrap it around the top of any of the joists or around the bottom for protection against it getting pinched. Eventually I might actually install drywall there to the ceiling so you wouldn't want it to get pinched, which is why we're keeping it nice and high above that line. However, if you remember, I put these headers in. Headers, they're like a little mount for the joist, for lack of a better word. I did take the wire over that just because I didn't feel like drilling a hole. It's a garage, not a house. If it was a house, I probably would have done it more correctly. But until the guys come on Monday to hook up 200 amp service, I'm just going to hook up this temporarily, and I'm going to get 100 amps my old panel, and I'll put my old panel over there. But temporarily we're going to go ahead and turn off the switch and wire all of these lights, which are now wired in series, up to where this old light bulb will be old light bulb is hooked up to, and then we'll use a flashlight and hook her up, and the switch back on, and voila, we'll get to see the lights. Awesome! Oh my god, it's so good! Freaking try. Yeah, well, I know. Apparently. I know how to freaking wire. I didn't even see my blood drops on the switch.